welcome to Across the Fence. I'm Jolie Whitney.
And I'm Keith Silva.
Tomorrow is Green Up Day. Since 1970, the first Saturday in May is set aside for Vermonters to do some picking up and greening up around this brave little state, as Calvin Coolidge called it.
That's right, Jolie. The statewide litter cleanup effort gets another line, this one less famous from Coolidge's speech, which talks about the indomitable people of Vermont, and describes in somewhat antique language as a race of pioneers who have almost beggared themselves to serve. Jolie, I'm not the real Vermonter here. Do you have any memories of Green Up Day as you were growing up in Vermont?
Absolutely. I remember every May, first Saturday in May, we would set aside, my mom and I or my parents and I would go out and pick a road out in the kingdom, which usually didn't have too much trash to offer because it didn't get quite as many cars, but it was always a great time. And then I got a couple cents on the side from some returnables, so it worked out for me in the end.
Very nice.
Absolutely.
Another Green Up Day tradition is the Growing Works of Art contest, which is held annually for students in grades K through 8. It's hosted and judged by the staff of the Vermont Urban and Community Forestry Program. The goal is to spread the word about Arbor Day. But beyond that, the kids and organizers want everyone to take a minute and appreciate the importance of trees in our lives. Why don't you get us started, Jolie, with this year's kindergarten winner, a student whose name is very appropriate to this contest.
Thank you, Keith. Eden Miller is from Berrytown Elementary School, and she has a poem entitled T is for I Love Trees. Spring melts snow is important, unless you're shoveling. It helps flowers and trees grow when it melts. Trees get buds. Trees give us oxygen. I love trees. Thank you, Eden. And next up is a winner from first grade, a homeschooler, and another name synonymous with trees and the season, Autumn.
Right you are, Jolie. Autumn Grace Pavlik submitted a short story called The Tree and Its Pajamas. She also drew this picture, and our apologies to Grace, but we can't read all of your story on camera, and so we encourage everyone to visit the website on the screen to read all the winning submissions in full. Autumn's story starts off with those 4 familiar words, once upon a time. Once upon a time, there lived an old tree. It was an oak tree. It was a happy tree. Day after day, the tree would think. Now the tree lived in an old garden. The garden was old, but it was pretty. The flowers bloomed nicely. There were poppies, daisies, and roses. Well, enough about the flowers. Let's get on with the story. No spoilers for the rest of Autumn's tale, but it involves an old woman in a pair of pajamas and an act of service. Our next winner is another homeschooler, Abigail M. Here's a picture of Abigail, and here's the poem that she submitted, H is for Habitat. Dappled light shines through the trees in the swampy forest. Whoo, whoo, cooks for you, calls the barred owl as it flies into its nest in a large tree. Barred owls live in holes inside trees built by other animals. Barred owls like swampy forests with lots of trees because it gives them cover for them to hunt fish and frogs and cozy nesting spots. Vermont's forests have a lot of trees, making it a good habitat for barred owls.
That's great. I learned a lot about barred owls, and I got to hear your barred owl impression.
Yes, what'd you think?
Great. Maybe next time we have Mark Labar on for Bird Notes, he can give you some pointers. But I think you've got a good foundation so far.
Well,
great.
Thank you very much.
Now,
I appreciate it.
Let's move on to our next winner from third grade category. Here's another appropriate name for this contest, Ivy Everson. She goes to White River School. Her entry is C is for cherry trees. Cherry trees require the winter cold in order to blossom in spring. You can also eat blossoms of the cherry trees. Some people think cherry blossoms are pink, but cherry blossoms can also be white too. Ivy included an impressionistic drawing of a cherry tree and a little stream running through the middle. Nice work, Ivy. Not to be outdone is the fourth grade winner, Cora Meyer from Berrytown Middle School. There's a picture of Cora holding her artwork for her poem, P is for Pine. Here's what Cora wrote. P is for pine, outside in the forest grew a tall pine tree. Lived a sweet mama blue jay and her little jays 3. As the sun was setting, it was pink and gold, and the thick pine bough warmed the jays from the cold. Nice colors, Cora. And Keith, you've got the next couple of winners, is that right?
Thank you, Jolie. Yes, I do. The winners for 5th and 6th grade are both from the Vermont Virtual Learning Co-op. The 5th grade winner is Alyssa Boucher. Here's a picture of Alyssa standing appropriately against a tree. Her entry is entitled T is for Teamwork. Alone, one tree in a meadow can do little. Gathered together as a forest, they can thrive. A group of trees together provides wildlife habitat for birds, insects, and small animals. They supply food sources for them to eat. Nesting places to live, a home protected from predators. A forest can regulate the climate, allowing for water conservation and better air quality. A forest can provide shade under its broad leaves, control temperature, and cut down noise. When those same leaves fall to the ground, it keeps the soil healthy. Maybe best of all, a forest is beautiful to behold. One tree by itself can fall to the ground, however. The same tree in a forest, when it falls, can be supported by another tree around it. Sometimes we all need support from a team when we fall. Sixth grader Zoe Jensen, also from the Vermont Virtual Learning Cooperative, submitted this picture of a willow tree. Zoe writes, W is for willow trees. Willow trees consume a lot of water through the tree's roots. Short and to the point. Again, thank you, Zoe. And Jolie, you've got the winner from 7th grade from your former neck of the woods, just north of St. Johnsbury.
Absolutely. That's right, Keith. Miriam Giroir is a homeschooler from Jeffersonville, and as you noted, the winner of the Growing Arts Work Contest for 7th grade. And here's her artwork, a sculpture which we don't often get to see in these contests, points for creativity. Miriam's entry is titled S is for Sleepless Woods. Here goes. Luna watches me through my window. I stare at my blank ceiling, restlessness. It's exactly midnight, my watch reads. I sit up, bundle my sheets around my body like a ghost. The night has taken me over. Rabbit tracks lay peacefully on the snow. Neighborhood birds still sleep, snow resting under my feet. The moon, novelty in the sky, yearns to rest. The snow fluttering down, catching onto branches. Laying down under a big tree, exactly where all can be seen. Absorbed by nature, lightheadedness, darkness walks me home.
Thank you, Jolie, and congratulations to Miriam. Last but not least is the 8th grade winner, Evelyn Pike from Barstow Memorial School, which, as you know, Jolie, is located in Chittenden, Vermont. Evelyn has a short prose piece she's written. It's a longer piece, so I won't be able to read it all on air, but the artwork she's included of this tire swing fits well with the excerpt we've chosen. Here's what Evelyn has to say. My aunt and uncle have an old tire swing with a thick rope on one of the sturdy branches that stands on the cliff's edge. Sitting on the tire swing, peering over, you can observe the quiet lake below, and this causes my thoughts to wander off about my father. How is he? I wonder if he is missing me, too. This spot is my escape from the busyness of the city, with the beautiful white bark of the birches, the soft breeze creating ripples on the lake, the mountain in the distance. I sit, also reminiscing about the sounds of the once nearby birds who recently left their nests in this beautiful grove of birches. The quietness and the beauty of the birches brings me peace. Nature has a way of doing that to folks. The yellow-orange leaves of the birches are almost gone, and a layer of frost is slowly growing around the edges of the lake on these chilly mornings. Congratulations to all the winners of the 2025 Growing Works of Art contest. To see the artwork and read their poems in full, visit the website on the screen. Jolie, this is the 2nd year that we've done this. I always enjoy sitting here with you and reading these poems, so thank you very much for helping out with this.
Absolutely. It's great to hear from the young minds of Vermont.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thank you, Keith. And thank you to the crew behind the scenes today. That's our...
Not so fast, Jolie. We've got a few minutes left to talk about a program that's coming up later this month. I'm here on the campus of the University of Vermont outside of an architectural gem, the Billings Library. This magnificent structure is home to the world's largest collection of books about proverbs. It was donated by retired UVM Distinguished Professor Emeritus Wolfgang Meeder. There are over 9,000 books housed here in the Billings Library, all from Meeder's personal collection. Professor Meeder was recently awarded the Order of Merit of the Federal Republic of Germany. Jolie's conversation with Professor Meeder about this award and his career will air Monday, May 12th. Here's a proverbial preview of that program on the topic of what else? Proverbs.
Proverbs are basically statements that generalize human experiences and human observations. So what you learn from Proverbs is that we can crystallize our reactions to the world into small units, pragmatic units of language, and thereby communicate metaphorically our feelings, our thoughts, and of course Proverbs lend themselves to be used in any situation we pick the one that happens to fit. They come automatically to you. You don't go someplace and say, I wonder what proverb I'm going to use today. Well, I sometimes do just for fun.
I bet you do, yeah.
But they come as you communicate or as you think. They come to you as a way of summarizing what you happen to be observing or experiencing at that moment. Okay, and of course, proverbs are very good as far as making an argument or closing an argument or convincing someone. So if you can say, look, a penny saved is a penny earned to a youngster, let's just say, you can come across rather nicely in saying it's worthwhile to maybe watch out a little bit how you spend your money in what you do.
Sure. We're almost out of time, but I quickly want to ask, these can be kind of regional, so are there any big proverbs here in Vermont that people might recognize?
Oh yeah, I think my two favorite Vermont proverbs is talk less and say more. Good for me to know, talk less and say more. And the other one is a very, very favorite one that most Vermonters know is good fences make good neighbors. And there is kind of a misunderstanding at times. Many people think that the proverb started with Robert Frost, our famous Vermont poet. He wrote a poem called Mending Wall in 1914, and that the proverb appears in that poem twice. But with solid research and help from others, I've now discovered that it appeared already in 1794
Wow.
in a Vermont small newspaper, the Vermont Gazette.
Wow.
And, so you can see it gets to be fascinating once you ask, how old is the proverb? Where does it come from? Where is it known? In the meantime, it has been translated into German. So we say, gute Zäune machen gute Nachbarn.
To watch the rest of our conversation with Professor Meter, join us across the fence on Monday, May 12th after the WCAX Noon News and Weather. For Joe Lay, our Across the Fence crew, enjoy Green Up Day this weekend.